Hello everybody, it's Connor. We're back here with another One Leeds reaction. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. We did a bit of a watch along. It was very, very impromptu, but I thought I'm just sat here watching the West Yorkshire Derby by myself, so I might as well do that. So appreciate a few of you guys who logged on for that one. It was made even better by my laptop falling over, which was fantastic. We're going to start with the first half. Very, very impressive. Crescencio Somerville, absolutely superb. You can see why we missed him in that game against Stoke City. Just those little runs in and behind, that proactiveness in attacking the space all the time, not always waiting for the man to come and taking the man on, which Nonto does quite a lot. Him and James seem to have this synergy at this moment in time, whether or not it's a little bit of a pace connection or something else, but the weight of pass between the one and the other is very, very good. They seem to link up quite nicely as well, obviously, on either side of the striker. I thought Rutter was Rutter again. So good, so clinical, so critical, I should say, in all four goals. And Leeds were really good in that first half. Absolutely no criticisms from me. We should have had another penalty. Hogg should have been sent off 100%. And listen, they were lucky not to go in that first half, 6 or 7-0 down. But how many times have we said that this season? We said that with Sheffield Wednesday, West Bromwich Albion, and many others. You know, Leeds have that in their locker where they can kill teams off. You know, Norwich being another example of that, but we just haven't done that enough for me. And it was nice to see those four going in the first half because Leeds almost probably matched their XG, really. The second half, a little bit more pedestrian for me. I would have liked us to be more proactive. That's me being greedy, of course, but I felt they were really, really there to be taken care of. 6 or 7 I was expecting, when we went in that first half, and it was 4-0. But you see this a lot in football where teams go in after a really, really good first half and the second half isn't as great as the first half. You see that a lot, whether or not the team gets complacent or whatever. But you saw the massive difference when Somerville went off and James went off. But of course, when Joe Rodon went off, you started seeing, Bergzorg. It was a little bit of a threat for them getting in and behind. You saw a bit of a line break when it came to that defensive action. The centre backs and the left back and the centre back and the right back were getting a little bit further apart. And I think the glue in that back line is Joe Rodon. The real captain in that back line is Joe Rodon, the voice. I don't think Strauch is a captain at all. I don't really understand why he is put as captain by Daniel Farke, but you saw wholesale changes, I said, from the start, and Leeds really, were complimented by that. I thought Kamara was excellent, very proactive, was getting forward as well, almost in a number 10 role, and letting Ethan Ampadu clear up at the back with the defence. But yeah, I thought when Cooper came on and Ayling, once again, Ayling just giving the ball away way too regularly, not offering overlaps for Dan James, and when he did offer the occasional overlap for Dan James, he was booting the ball out for a throw-in. And all this argument I've seen online of, we've kept so many clean sheets when Ayling has been in the side. Well, we haven't now. And, the game state is what I look at, not just the coincidence that Ayling's been on the pitch when we've kept a clean sheet. It's not because of Luke Ayling we've kept a clean sheet, in my opinion. But listen, really happy with Dan James, really happy with Crescencio Somerville. Preserving them for the Leicester game is absolutely key. They were taken off, and you just see the difference, in my opinion, when Nonto and Anthony came on. There's, I don't know, not as much zip, really. I think the pace of James and the pace of Somerville, even when, Huddersfield wrote a low block, was causing them absolute nightmare. It was causing them a nightmare. And I think Jaden Anthony and Nonto almost like to size the defender up. That they've got that space that they can run into, but they'll rather the defender come back and show them onto their left foot where they can bend it round them. Whereas I think Somerville and James like attacking the spaces, which is a big difference. And I think we saw a big difference in this game. But as I say, I hope Joe Rodon isn't going to be a long termer because he's just absolutely pivotal. When he, as I keep mentioning, when he was taken off, you just saw that entire back line, even with Cooper coming on, who's more of a captain, in the club hierarchy, you saw them just Shackleton being out of position. There being way too much space between the centre-back and the left-back, and as I've said, the centre-back and the right-back, and even the centre-back in the midfield. And it just seemed a little bit more frantic all of a sudden and chaotic. And I think it's absolutely key that you keep that dimension. You keep the dimension of Joe Rodon in that back line next to Pascal Strout to tell him what to do, but also to tell the fullbacks in around him what to do. But overall, a competent performance by Leeds overall, in my opinion, and we run out 4-1 winners in a derby, which, is always a good result. And I think just a lot of us were maybe frustrated by that by that second half for me. But you've seen the reason why we were frustrated. It's James going off. It's Somerville going off. And most importantly, in my opinion, Joe Rodon going off. Guys, really fascinated to hear what you think about this one. Leeds run out 4-1 winners. Great win. Leicester coming up next. What are your thoughts? See you in a bit.